Hi, everyone. This is Michael Kynan representing the TooMedToo's Star Wars Network. We've got your fix. And tonight we are joined with this is actually the first person to ever have a repeat appearance on the show since it's been named the Bacta Tank. We have with us again Yoshifu. Yoshi, how are you doing?
I'm doing okay. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. Thanks for coming back.
Yeah, for sure. Glad to
Uh,
be back on.
All right. Yeah, we had you on episode 27 back in last July.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just having you come back on and give us a little update about your life and how things are. Uh, so, what have you been up to in the last 6 months, 7 months?
I'm working on a video game actually. A game called Ashes of Creation with a studio called Intrepid down in San Diego, California. So I've been kind of doing that. COVID changed plans a little bit. So it is what it is. You got to make do.
All right. So, yeah, can you tell me a little bit more about the game, or is that kind of hush
Uh,
hush? You know?
it's an MMO, so think World of Warcraft-ish, that Tolkien-esque, that kind of thing. Feel free to check it out. You can find footage of it on YouTube. Go to Ashes of Creation. Also social media, all the usual. I don't know what all I can say, so I'm going to try to err on the side of caution
Okay.
here.
Yeah, that's perfectly understandable. Is it open world or is it
I
going to
believe
be
so.
more
It is an open. It's like I said, if you can think of World of Warcraft or
okay?
most other MMOs, it's kind of in the same vein. Similar. Anybody who plays MMOs should be right at home playing that. Wouldn't be a huge transition.
Awesome. Yeah, I got I've never had a virtual reality headset before, and I just picked one up in October when the Oculus Quest 2 came out. Um, and my buddy, he's a big VR gamer. He's on Twitch or was on Twitch and Facebook, and he kind of had a big following there. And he told me to. He's like, it's going to change your life when you get this, and it really has. Like now, I want to do everything in VR,
Oh
and
yeah.
even just I can put the headset on and control my computer. Just have the
Oh,
controllers
your
in my
virtual
hand.
desktop.
Yeah, have virtual desktop.
Yeah.
And we've been working to get it so when I stream on one of the platforms I stream on is a new thing. It's about a year or two old in the States. It's been over in Japan and Taiwan for about 5 years. It's called Live It. And I have to do like a split screen. Me on the top part, and then the game in the middle, and then the bottom is just like a GIF or whatever going across because that's like where the chat is. But we have it almost integrated where I'm actually in the game.
Oh,
It's
that's great.
just getting a few steps done, so it's
What are you
pretty
playing?
amazing. I do a lot of fishing. To be honest, there's a
Is it the
virtual,
real fishing?
yeah, real fishing.
Yeah, real fishing VR. I love that thing.
Yeah, and it's great because it's you get a couple of buddies together, and it's really like going on a fishing trip. Um, it's funny because the one guy I'm talking about, he's in St. Louis, and him and I go on vacation to South Korea whenever we can to go fishing because
Yeah, I
that's
know,
where.
right?
So it's a great time. Yeah, there's just so much you can do, and just looking at the difference in the games between like 2016, 2017, when it really started going to the games that are coming out now 4 or 5 years later. It's mind blowing, like the graphics and everything. I
Have you
got it
played?
with the
Go ahead.
I got it with the intention of just to play Star Wars games, and now it's like, okay, now I want to just play everything on there. What I've been doing a lot of is there's a Oculus TV where it's just a bunch of like the majority of them are like 1 to 3 minute little video clips where they take
Oh,
like a 360 camera or they go scuba diving with it or they put it in the middle of the jungle and the lions are coming up and attacking it or whatever. So that's what I've been doing a lot of.
That sounds fun. Have you tried Half-Life Alex?
No.
That is amazing.
What's Half-Life Alex?
In VR, I mean, you'll need the Oculus Link if you're using the Quest, but that is the first game I've played that felt like what I was expecting the first time I put on a VR headset. You know, I wanted to experience the game, not like a shooting gallery, but actually experience it. And that's the first game that I've seen actually really does it and does it really well.
Okay. Oh, I have not played it. I think I have that on one of my wish lists. Either if it's the Steam wish list
Yeah,
or
totally worth it. Totally worth it.
Okay. Yeah, well, that's the thing. To integrate it from running off of this turned into a video game chat, which is awesome because you never know where it's going to go. To integrate it where you can either get the games off of the Oculus and play them, or you can get them off the computer. But there's if you can run like 5 or 6 different programs where you can actually run it off the computer and then stream it onto whatever platform you're going on. And that's kind of where I got stuck for a little while. I'm a newbie at it. I'm a noob, so I didn't realize that I needed to be in developer mode. So I tried for like 3 months and couldn't figure out what I was doing wrong. And then my buddy helped me for like 3 or 4 hours the one day. He was like, "All right, check out your developer mode." I said, "What's that?" He said, "Oh my god, dude!" Well, it's just common for him and his circle of friends to do.
Yeah.
But me, I was just like, I have no idea what you're talking about. So yeah, I got it. I got it just for the Star Wars games, and it's like, okay, now I want all my games to be like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think some of my favorites were obviously Half-Life Alex, and I loved Gorn. That's Gorn. Robo Recall is another one I really liked. Yeah, you can spend all kinds of time in there, and it does. I promise you, it does die out after a while, in the sense that it comes in waves. Like once you finish all the games you really like, you can take a little breather and wait for the new stuff to come out. That's what happened to me pretty much. I burned out on a while until Half-Life Alex came out, and that was amazing.
Yeah, well, with real VR fishing, I'm trying to make my fish tank all sharks. So I'm up to 22 tiger sharks. I don't have any makos yet, but so that's kind of like every once in a while I do get sick of playing it because it's like, oh my god, I can't catch a shark for 4 days. And you end up catching 3 or 4. But
I have never caught a shark, so
all right. Well, yeah, I think I've played it way too much. But
it's funny you mentioned real fishing because I reached out to them too a few years ago. I reached out to them like, "Yo, I really like your game. If you need help, let me know. I'll hook you up. Like, I'll make some new maps or whatever. Like, this is a blast."
Yeah, because they redid it when it came to the Oculus 2, and the Oculus 2 came out. They revamped the game and they kind of redid the whole thing. And then at Christmas, and so I got into it for the month or two, and then they had a new thing come out at Christmas time, where they put new fish in and new, you don't really have like milestones to hit or anything like that, or they need to do something to keep in the game, so they put all new fish in there, to catch. And then it's like, so yeah, it's really interesting, just what they can do with everything. So yeah, hopefully we have. Now, have you played Squadrons at all?
Not in VR now.
Okay, yeah. I just got it because I have it on the computer, so I just got it hooked up to where I can play Squadrons in VR.
I got it on the Xbox, so.
Yeah, I've been playing it on the PC and it was fun, but I just can't wait until it's just like getting all the little puzzle pieces to go in together, and then like literally to stream it off the PC through the Oculus, you have to run like 6 different programs and patch things together, and it's insane, like the amount of things you have to do to
really
make it work. But, yeah,
I mean, that's weird. Are you using Steam Link?
You have to use VR Steam.
Or the Steam with the Quest link, I mean, whatever it is.
Yeah. With the Quest link. There's something else you have to run through it too, and then you have to patch. There's a patch that you need, and then there's a couple other things so you can actually see the chat on the headset too, so you're not have to take it on and off if you're like if I was streaming it on here, I wouldn't be able to see the chat. I'd have to take it on and off. But there's a way, another app or program that software that you have to run where I can get the chat then in my headset. Similar, like if I was to do like a window capture on OBS. So yeah, but that's the other thing too. With running one of these programs, you don't have to use the cable. You can just it's all wireless. So that's just an extra step, but then you have to do that extra step, and then it's an extra program, but then you have to patch it together with something else. So yeah, it's like no one. I have a few friends that do VR. It's too hard to do. It's like it's COVID. There's nothing else to do, so you might as well, figure out some things. So yeah, I'm really interested to check out your game when it comes out. So have you been keeping up?
I mean, I'm not sure. What's that?
Have you been keeping up with the Star Wars that's been going on? Any of the books that have been going on?
Actually, no, I haven't really followed up on the books. I wanted to read the Vader books, and then when I finally got around to sitting down, which was like 2 weeks ago, like, okay, I want to get into some of these Vader books. And I'm like, okay, there's Vader 1, Vader Immortal, Vader Down. I'm like, all right, hold on. What, like, I need to figure out what goes where. And I sometimes wish there were just easy names. Like, oh, Vader, Volume 1, literally Volume 1. Nothing comes before this, But they have all these different names. So I tried to find the books I wanted to get started, and they're not cheap anymore. It's like, people want a fortune for them on eBay, and I'm like, I just want to read it. Jeez, I'm not trying to collect. I mean, if I collect, that'd be cool, but I'm just trying to read it right now. So we'll see. I got to figure out a way to get my hands on those books.
Yeah, well, I'm know some people that are into the book, into the comics, so they might be able to, we might be able to figure something out. And they should also be. You should get them online too. Pretty cheap if they're available. Sometimes they're not always there, but yeah, we can always we'll try and figure something out for you. I've made a lot of.
You can just read it to me,
Yeah, there you go. So then Vader says, someone wants to know if the game is more of a theme park or a sandbox style. The game you're working on. I have no idea. I have no idea what that means.
I don't know what that means either. So I mean, it's an MMO. So I mean, I would assume sandbox.
Okay. I have no idea.
Assumption. Yeah, I'm not sure what theme park is unless they're talking about like theme park, like the simulation building thing.
I really have no idea. They sent me they didn't have chat. They sent me a text. I was like, hey, what's going on? All right. Yeah. What about any of the High Republic? Any of the new books that have come out? Have you kept up with any of that? Or?
No, I haven't. Like I said, full disclosure, I haven't. It's just I had a kid, last year, so it's like,
yeah,
I'm going nuts. It's just all kinds of dad stuff that I didn't know existed. Like, oh, when she wakes up, I guess I'm waking up. That's a thing now. That's just how it goes. Like, okay. Or I want to sit down and play a video game, and she says no. Well, I guess we're not playing. It is what it is. Guess we're watching Baby Shark again for the 80th time.
Is that your favorite song? Is that your favorite song?
Right. I mean, it might as well be at this point. I should try to find a way to love it. But it's okay. She doesn't listen to Baby Shark that much anyway. She's more of and I know it sounds weird, but she's more of a fan of like Van Halen, and yeah, go figure, right? She's like 1.5.
Hey, that's perfect. I mean, I don't know.
It works out.
How much better you could get than that,
right? She'll listen to her Van Halen on repeat. She loves 80s pop. Anything out of the 80s, she'll love.
That's good. Now, did your wife listen? Was your wife listening to like a bunch of '80s or Van Halen um, when she was pregnant?
No, that's mostly me.
Okay,
She's my wife is more
okay,
of a she listens to more. She laughs when I call it this. I say she likes modern music, and I'm like, yeah, you like stuff that's on the radio that I have no idea who they are. I mean, I know a few people, like I know who The Weeknd is, stuff like that, but most of the stuff that comes on the radio, I'm very unfamiliar.
yeah. I really have no idea what like the modern music. I pretty much stopped listening to anything the early 2000s, so I haven't really listened to anything in the radio like 15 years or whatever. It's all well. It's funny now. You listen to something that's the '90s, and people are like, "Oh, you're listening to the oldies," and it's like, no, it's the '90s. So I
Yeah,
guess I
I
guess
had
I kind of
an oldie station that I used to love in college. Going to college, and they used to play like 60s and 70s. And then I left the state for a while, and I traveled, I worked, and when I got back home, and when I finally settled in back home, and I started listening to the radio again, I remember turning on to the same station. I'm like, what, they're playing like 80s now? I thought they played oldies. It was like, oh, wait, 10 years has passed since I like last really listened to this radio. I guess this is, geez, I feel old.
yeah. The Cranberries came on at work, and I started singing along, and one of the girls said, "Oh, Michael, you like the oldies?" And I was like, "Oh, Jesus." Um,
Yeah, right. Because you
so
hear 1980 and you think, oh, 20 years ago. It's like, no, 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 40.
yeah, but we'll just keep it as 20 years ago. It makes life simpler that way. Um, so, have you been working on any TV shows or any movies, or has that kind of been
No,
halted because of the whole
that's kind of
COVID
been
thing?
halted for all intents and purposes. I was, long story short, due to COVID, my opportunity to work on a few things got canned, which is a bummer. I was supposed to work on hopefully was trying to work on another season of Mandalorian, as well as what is it called, the Lord of the Rings show and Marvel Eternals. Like I was trying to get on those projects, and because COVID and traveling, they just the last email I got was, hey, we'll have to let you know because we can't fly now, so it is what it is. I had to go find something else. I am filming an indie movie at the end of next month. I'm in it, though I'm not. Well, I am doing a VFX, but I'm also in it. And one other film that's starting production soon, filming is, I think it's called The Circuit. It's a indie anthology sci-fi thing. I agreed to work on that because one of my friends is a producer on it and is also in it. Manu Intiraymi, he played Icheb on Star Trek Voyager, but
Okay.
that's his. Yeah, that's his indie movie, and he's like, "Hey, come help out." I'm like, sure, why not? Let's
Yeah.
do it.
I mean,
Let's see what you got.
yeah, because I think the last time you were on, I was kind of amazed that like you just said, you reached out to the game developers. That it's a lot of you saying, "Hey, I want to work with you," or "Hey, here's my portfolio. I want to help you with this movie or the TV show or whatever it happens to be." So like I thought that was kind of interesting. That it's kind of reaching out a lot, just trying to get out there
Yeah,
and get things going on.
it's the same. It's the same. I started applying the same mentality to work that I do with collecting, because it's like fans will seek out where the actors are going to get their autograph. Oh, they're going to be at this con at this day. They'll schedule it. They'll figure it out. I mean, why not apply that same logic to work? Oh, I figure out what studio made this. Who's the boss there? Like, who do I contact? I mean, what do you have to lose, right? Worst case scenario, they say no. You're right back where you started. You didn't lose anything.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's how it is a lot of times. Where if I'm trying to get in touch with an author or whatever, just kind of finding out who their publicist is and then going to them, or then their publicist, if it's through because of a book that came out, and then that publicist from, like, we'll say Pangham Random House is no longer in charge of them for this book. It's like, oh, now you need to deal with their publicist. So it's a bunch of going through jumping through hoops and just saying, "Hey, I just want to talk to somebody," and that's how I've gotten a couple of really good interviews.
Yeah, it
And
doesn't hurt, right? It
like,
doesn't hurt to try.
Yeah, and I recently had them reach out to me and said, "Hey, can you interview this person for us? We have a book coming out." And um, I hadn't been checking that email because I hadn't been doing a lot of stuff on YouTube or anything. So I kind of lost out on it. And then I reached out a couple times and haven't heard anything back. But that's the thing. They might hit me up in 3 weeks and be like, "Hey, are you doing anything in 15 minutes? This person has a time slot for you." And I'll be like, that's what happened with one of my interviews. I was sitting there in the doctor's office, and I was on the phone and talking to the doctor. The doctor's like, "You need to hang up the phone. I'm trying to check your blood pressure right now, and it's going through the roof." I was like, "You don't understand. I'm doing this great interview when I get out of here." And he's like, "Yeah, but I'm not gonna let you leave if your blood pressure doesn't go down." I'm like, "Okay, sorry." I'm literally, I'm in the cab ride home, trying to set up, get everything set up so that I walked in the house, I walked the dog, and there we go. So I wasn't as prepared as I wanted to be, but I got to do a second interview with the person a year later, so it works out. So now you mentioned collecting. You mentioned collecting. Do you do it? I was going to say, do you do any collecting, or did you do any collecting pre-baby? Because I know a lot of collectors have to put it on a little break for sometimes.
I mean, I just started collecting more baby stuff because now I have a reason to, I guess. I mean, I don't know. Like I have all the Star Wars golden books, things like that.
Okay.
It's just let me see. Let me grab something here. Like this is just what she was wearing yesterday. A little R2 dress.
Oh, that's awesome.
So she got a little R2 dress. She got her little Star Wars gear everywhere. She got a little Star Wars blanket, and big into Nintendo stuff too. So she's got a lot of Nintendo stuff. So
yeah, so
I gotta use it as an excuse to collect.
Yeah, it's still collecting. Just the merch has changed a little bit.
Yeah. Now I have an excuse to buy those collectible Star Wars Barbies because I would never buy those otherwise. Like they have the Vader one, the C-3PO, and the R2, like the dress and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm like, I have an excuse to buy those. All right, I don't care. Like I'm gonna buy those. Those are for my kid. She's never gonna play with it, and she can't take it out of the box. But they're for my kid. All right.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's I collect Black Series and I collect books, but I don't get like the novels. I get like all the art of, or I have all the encyclopedias, even though they're outdated or whatever, or the revisions made. It's like, well, I want that first one, even though they've revised it and changed some things. It's like I still have to have that first one, which is outdated, but it's a collector's thing. But it's like all my Black Series, and I still say I don't collect Funko Pops. I just acquire Star Wars merchandise that happens to be Funko Pops. But I mean, we'll let you just, like, if I turn this around right here, it's like, these are all on the wall right there. It's all Funko Pops back there. But yeah, it's just Star Wars merchandise. I don't collect them.
I've avoided Funko Pops personally.
Just they're not worth it because then you just don't stop, and it's like, I got to the point where I was just getting them to get them in case I wanted them, in case they look good, and now it's like I just have cases of them. That it's like, okay, I need to get rid of these because they're just taking up space and they're not really anything that I want. But everything's still in the box until I'm no longer in a small New York City apartment, or I have kids that want to take them out and play with them. But then it's like, well, okay, this $100 toy, do I really want to give it to the kid to play with? Maybe we'll save it until they're older. I don't know. We'll have to see. Maybe if I have some doubles, or I'll give you a reason to try and find.
Go ahead.
I'll give me a reason to try and find some cheap duplicates.
Yeah, my wife brought up a good point. She's like, why don't I take my toys out of the packaging? And I finally started to do it because she said, like, oh, when you're at the store, or when you're at a collectible comic book shop or whatever, they always have those little stickers or signs that say "do not touch," right? And you want to grab them, you want to play with them, you want to look at them, you want to put the weapons in the hands if they have them, you want to do all that stuff. And my wife says, well, you bought it and you still don't do it, so what's the point? And I'm like, well, they're worth X amount, blah blah blah. She goes, but you're never going to sell it. If we're being honest, when are you ever going to sell this unless it's the end of the world? I said, that's true. She goes, so you might as well enjoy it. And I'm like, that's true. And it hurt my feelings to open the box, but once I did, I was happy. I was like, I'm playing with my toys, like, and I couldn't bring myself to throw away the box, obviously. So I do have a box of boxes that are like flattened down, taken apart and flattened down.
Yep.
I don't know why, but I can't bring
Yeah.
myself to get rid of those yet.
Yeah, that's kind of the same way I am. I've only taken a couple of them out of the box. I have ideas for the ones I'm going to take out of the box once I, get some shelving set up, and like the way like my computer desk is an old teacher's desk, so it's like 6 feet long and 4 feet deep. So like I'm reaching out my hands right now and I can't even touch my computer screen. And then behind that, I have another like 2.5 feet of just empty space that's just filled with Funko Pops and Black Series. Not to mention the ones I have displayed that are 4 or 5 deep, so you can't see the ones behind them on bookcases and everything. So some days we'll get it figured out. I was talking about the other platform I'm on, and I'm actually a contracted streamer on there. So I get paid to be on there, not like YouTube. It's like YouTube. 1 out of every 10,000 people that has a YouTube channel, they actually make some decent money on there. On this thing, I'm making enough money on there that I convinced my girlfriend to let me turn my spare bedroom in my New York City apartment into my office, which is kind of funny. I'm going to take this off really quick to show you if I can. Don't mess everything up. I told her, I said, hey, I'm going to get a green screen for the back room for my office. And she said, okay. She didn't realize when I said I'm going to get a green screen for the room that my entire room is a green screen. So that when I get everything hooked up, it's going to be, I'll be able to actually be in those video games, and you'll see me in there playing and fighting. And I'm hoping that when I get into like Vader Immortal, that I can actually kind of be in the game instead of just having it separated. So yeah, she thought I was just gonna get a little backdrop or whatever. It's like, no, you don't understand. So it's mixed real. My buddy's in here. I'm gonna guess that's Space Roach. He's the VR guy I was telling you about that got me hooked on everything. He's saying, yeah, it's mixed. It's no longer virtual reality. It's mixed reality because you're actually in the game. You don't have a mocap suit or anything. I don't have one yet, but that might be someday in the future, and we'll see how how many more programs I need to. Maybe I need to buy a new computer for that one to get that running. But yeah, we'll have to hook up and I'll have to find out your Oculus. You have the Quest 2, or do you have the?
Not currently. I actually just got rid of my Quest because I wanted the Quest 2. I got rid of the Quest, but I haven't gotten around to getting the Quest 2 yet, just because we're in the process of possibly moving within the next few weeks. All right. Trying to. I just. Hopefully it all works out. I mean, it seems like it's going well, but we just bought a home, so we'll see. We have the space. I'll set up a little VR area again, little man cave, if you will.
Yeah. Well, when you do, let me know and we can go fishing together. Yeah, we got Rural Farm Boy in here saying, "Play with your toys."
Rural Farm Boy. Oh, I think. That name sounds familiar. I think I follow them on social media, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he's on Twitter. He's everybody knows Roll Farm Boy. He's one of the he goes around listening to everybody's podcast and reposting them and trying to get everybody in the Star Wars community together. So he's one of the good guys out there.
As fractured as it is, right?
Yeah.
If you don't like what I like the way I like it, you're wrong.
Yeah, that's a whole other thing. I think we touched on it, the last time, and then that gets into real murky waters then, and then the whole,
why can't we just all say, hey, we all eat at the same restaurant? We don't order the same items, but that's okay. Yeah, that's okay. Exactly. We're all in the same restaurant.
It's like I have friends that are vegetarians and we can still go out to eat. They're not. It's even better because I know they're not going to steal my steak if I have to run to the bathroom or or anything. I can take a bite of my burger. So, but
Yeah.
yeah, we can all get along that way. So why does it matter? Well, so all right. Well, here we go. I don't remember if we talked about this last time. Is your wife into any of the nerdy stuff, sci-fi and Star Wars or anything like that?
Nope,
Okay.
not at all. She's the
Mine,
complete opposite of me.
yeah, mine's not either. And I finally, so we've been together almost 10 years. A few months ago, I got her, I think I won a bet or something. I don't remember what it was. And she's like, okay, fine, I'll watch a Star Wars movie. And I was like, okay. So I had to pick a Star Wars movie. And I was like, I picked Solo for her to watch. Because I was like, that's the easiest one to kind of watch. You don't really need to know any backstory. Even though she does, she watched them as a kid growing up with her brother and her father and everything.
I remember, right?
So yeah, she's like, she knows enough. But my birthday just passed, and there was a thing, and she's like, okay, fine, I'll watch one of the Star Wars movies with you. And I was like, okay. And I was like, all right, where do I start from? Like, so I'm having this moral dilemma. Like, you've already seen the original ones, but you haven't seen them in 20 years or 30 years or whatever. And I was like, okay, well, we're just going to start with episode 1. And I was like, if I can get her to sit through episode 1, and she starts asking me questions, and she doesn't listen to me, but she hears me talking about Star Wars enough that she picks up little things. And I'm like, all right, just so you know, you might find it a little bit boring. It's one of the when it came out, people didn't like it because it wasn't really Star Wars, what they thought it was going to be or whatever. And it's talking a lot about politics and trade routes and embargoes and everything like that. That didn't even faze her. She liked it, and then she had some questions for me. So I was like, well, hang on, I'm going to answer your questions. So I started episode 2. We got about a half hour into it, and she started asking more questions. I was like, all right, we'll finish this movie tomorrow. And I turned it off, and then we got to it a day or two later. But yeah, it's so I kind of got her into it, and then she had more questions. So we started the first couple minutes of episode 3. I'm like, all right, let's answer your questions. She's kind of not a big fan of the Padme Anakin relationship because of the she's like, he was a little boy and she was an adult. Like, well, she wasn't really an adult. She was like 14 or 15, 16, and he was 9. She's like, yeah, this is just kind of creepy. Like it's like dating your babysitter, or whatever. I'm like, yeah, but it's a little bit different. So she was going for an Obi-Wan Padme stand. I was like, well, we'll just have to see. I mean, but that's a big age difference too. But she's been to a couple years ago. She was in Italy, so she went to Lake Como, and I had her take pictures there. And she took a couple pictures, not knowing where to exactly take them, and that's where they are in the balcony scene in episode 2. So she took like the perfect pictures, and then like when we were watching it, she almost started crying because she's like, it's one of the most beautiful places I've ever seen. So it's these little things that I think I might be able to. She's never going to be a fan, but if I can actually get her to watch movies with me, or if I can get her to be enough of a fan that, hey, Celebration's coming up in another year and a half, maybe you can come with me. I think it would be fun. And then I kind of get to kill 2 birds with 1 stone, because it's like, all right, we get to do Disneyland, and you understand what it's like. Trying to get them involved a little bit.
It's funny because like my wife and I we're complete opposites, and we don't really dig too much into what the other person is into, or we didn't before. Due to quarantine, of course, she was like, screw it, let's start watching certain movies or whatever. And the biggest thing for her was she always thought I was just an 80s geek, and she's not wrong. 80s and 90s, and she always talked about on my bookshelf, on my movie shelf, there's like Die Hard, Lethal Weapon. She's like, you have all these cheesy 80s movies and 90s action movies and stuff on your shelf next to all these Academy like award-winning movies, and I'm like, why do you call them dumb 80s action movies? Have you ever seen them? She goes, no, I mean, I know what they're about, I get the idea. I'm like, all right, why don't you try watching one day? And finally, during quarantine, there was a day, I think like a power line or something went out, or some kind of line went out. We had no internet for 2 days. And I'm like, ha, Now all of a sudden my physical movie and game collection doesn't look so stupid, does it? So we pulled it out, and she started watching Die Hard for the first time. She watched the first Die Hard, and I was so happy because by the end of it, she goes, "So there are 5 of these?" I'm like, "Yeah, I think so." And I only had the first 4 because I bought like a box set like years back, and so we burned through them over 2 days. She burned through all 4 movies. Then we got her internet back on. She goes, "So there's a 5th movie?" Yeah, but I heard it was not good. She goes, "Yeah, but I want to see it." So I finally looked online. I'm like, "Look, I don't want to buy this. I don't want to. Maybe I'll rent it." So I looked at local red boxes and stuff, and it was actually for sale for $2. And I'm like, I might as well buy it and just toss the disc in my box set. And so we finished that, and then she's like, "Okay, no lie." She's like, "The first few were pretty good. I'm hooked now. What other '80s movies do you recommend?" So we're about to go through Lethal Weapon, but she just it's not an '80s movie, but she just finished True Lies, and she loved it. She
Okay.
thought it was going to be stupid, and she loved it. I'm like, "Of course you loved it. It's an amazing movie." And so now we're about to go through Lethal Weapon, and after that, I don't know, maybe Beverly Hills Cop. I don't know. Haven't figured it out yet.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you're getting all the Christmas movies out of the way. Die
Right.
Hard, Lethal Weapon. Um, yeah, I have the same issue with movies where she wants more of the rom coms or whatever, and I'd rather watch good movies. But yeah, there was a list of 30 '80s movies that you need to watch or whatever. It's like I've seen every one of them on this list. She's like, I've seen like 3 or 4. I was like, okay, fine, pick one. We're gonna watch it, and like that was my goal. During quarantine, we're gonna watch a movie every day off this list. We got like 2 or 3 of them done, and she's like, I don't even care about them anymore. I was like, it's just like it's just trying to find that right one, or I try and get her to watch a TV series or something. I was trying to get her to watch Game of Thrones for like 4 or 5 seasons, and then I finally just gave up because it's one of those you can't watch it without me because we're gonna watch it together someday, and it's like okay, I've been waiting
Yeah,
3 years or 4 years, and then I
I
was going
briefly
away
helped
to.
out with Game of Thrones.
Did you?
Yeah, it was done in the same studio that I was at when I was working on what were you working on? I think we were working on the Fallout 4 commercial. I don't remember exactly. And like a ride, a 3D ride of some sort. But they were also working on a Game of Thrones there, and when they needed help, I helped out a bit, but I wasn't officially part of that team.
Yeah, that was. I remember that was the other thing you told me about. You did a lot. You do a lot of work, and you're not officially credited
Yeah,
um,
because you're just
with
helping
things.
out
It's,
for a day or two.
yeah,
So otherwise, that credit list would be ridiculous. Not that not already long.
yeah. I mean, you go to the movies and you just see, with the visual effects, it's just line after line after line, person after person. So
Oh yeah.
it's really like 10 times what it shows you on the. Um,
I wouldn't say 10 times. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'd say if I had to guesstimate, probably like 20-30% more than what you see.
okay, all right. Um, that's interesting. Because I remember when you were here the last time, I pulled it up and I had a bunch of things I was asking you, and you're like, "Oh yeah, I did that, but this was even better." I had more fun with this. So that was kind of. It's just I don't know, man. I don't know. For me, I don't know if it's because I'm on the outside looking in, or just thinking like, "Oh my god, that would be so amazing. I wish I could do that." And it's
Mhm.
just fun to listen to. You're like, "Oh yeah, I get to Game of Thrones. I did the Last Jedi, or the Rise of Skywalker."
It,
Um,
it, it is weird. I mean, it does catch me off guard sometimes, if we're being honest. Sometimes you don't realize because it happens so gradually. Does that make any sense? Like
yeah,
one day I'm a fan, and then it feels like just wait a minute, how did I end up here? I'm now working on it. Like that doesn't make any sense. And it's like yeah, you like imagine if tomorrow you got a call to say, hey, would it be all right if we put your podcast on featured it on the Amazon whatever store? You know what I mean? And you might think nothing of it. Like that's really awesome, but it's still not that well known yet. And then next thing you know, another studio calls you and say, hey, we want you to do this. And then after that, someone else calls you and says, hey, we really like your show. Would you be willing to host this other show kind of in the same format? And it's really gradual, and each thing just feels like a natural progression. And by the next thing you know, you have like a show like I don't know, like Joe Rogan's podcast or something, and you're looking back like, wait, how did this happen? It was nothing originally. And then, you know, all your friends that know you now, they're doing interviews like, yeah, you know, to me, he's just a regular guy, but people like ask for his autograph and stuff, and it's still weird for me. It still doesn't feel real, you know. It still doesn't make any sense to me. I'm like, why do people want to talk to me? And I get it because I am a geek as well, so I kind of understand both sides of it. But you know, I don't know if I mentioned last time when people ask me to sign their Star Wars stuff, I'm like, what? You want me to ruin your stuff with ink? That sounds terrible.
Yeah. Well, that's so my first, like, I don't know if you remember or we talked about it. 3 years ago, in January 29th or 28th or whatever it was, I had my personal Facebook account, and I decided, hey, I want to, do this on YouTube, and kind of like what I'm doing now. And the next day I had everything. I had TooMedToo's everything. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I just kind of went off and shotgun and just got a name for everything and started doing it, not having any idea what I'm doing. I still really don't have that much of an idea either now. But so like 3 years ago was the first Comic-Con I went to, and I went with a bunch of podcasters and collectors and everything. And that kind of got my bug going. I came home and it was just like eBay, boom, 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 and I just started ordering. That's when Danielle was in Europe at the time, so I was like, hey, yeah, she's not gonna know how much money I was spending. Dude, you're just buying all this shit. And it's like the next year I'm walking through New York Comic Con. Somebody came up to me like, hey, are you TooMedToo's? And I was like, yeah. And they're like, oh, great. And they started talking to me. I'm like, and I don't know what to do because like I'm just this guy that I'm not popular. I got 1,000 people that follow me. In the chat today, I think it got up to like 15 people in the chat between all of the, I stream on 5 different places at once. So this is going on 2 different Facebook places, Twitch, YouTube. It's like, so I had like 15 people at most watching me today. And, I'll get like 100 views on it. It's for fun. And I got somebody coming up to me talking to me like, oh, and I'm like, dude, I don't know what to do. Like, I was just like, I was in shock that someone actually saw me and recognized me. And I just like, then afterwards I walked away. I was like, dude, I must have been like such a jerk. Cause I was just like, yeah. Oh yeah. Great to see you too. It's just like, it was like that first experience and not stardom or like, trust me, cause I'm not a star. Like, it's just like, it was just so weird that someone recognized me.
Yeah. It's a strange feeling.
Yeah. It might never happen again. I don't know. But hopefully it does. Hopefully, as time goes on, now I'm back to work now. I was out sick for about 8 months during the whole COVID thing because I had COVID, and I don't know if we talked about it last time, but I was one of the lucky ones. I had a cough for a day and a half, and then that was it. But then it destroyed my lungs. So like I couldn't walk a flight of stairs, I couldn't walk my dog. So it's just been months of steroids and tests and everything back and forth. So I'm doing much better now. I'm back to work. But at the time I was doing YouTube, I was making videos every day and going through books and doing everything. And now it's like, working full time and then streaming on the other place. It's like I'm working like 2 full-time jobs. The lucky one is, on the other place, I can do it from home, so I don't have to leave anywhere. So doing 8 hours a day there isn't really as bad, but I get to break it up into some sections. But that kind of, it's like it takes away from the YouTube. So now instead of doing YouTube 5 or 6 days a week, I get my one Monday night show done because that's kind of like the flagship. And then the one I do on Saturday nights, I'm working, so I have other people doing my show for me. It's like I'm not even there. So I just kind of hop on and say, yeah, I'm like, hey guys, thanks for doing my show for me. I just got home from work. I'm gonna go to bed for take a nap so I can go do my other job. So it's just kind of weird how everything's come, like almost full circle from kind of accomplishing what I wanted to accomplish, just making some Star Wars and some nerds friends, and then people that my in real life friends that I have that I talk about Star Wars all the time and talk about YouTube and podcasting. And it's just like in one ear, out the other, and then also like, oh, you're a Star Wars fan? You went to Celebration? It's like, don't you pay attention to anything I say? Like, you're a nerd. Like, I figured that you would have caught on that I have these things.
Yeah. I mean, nerd stuff really does, it brings people together too. That's one of the things I love about it. I mean, even despite all the the toxicity you have in certain areas, regardless, for the most part, I feel like it's a positive thing. Like what is it? What is that band Savage Garden?
Mm-hmm.
The lead singer Darren Hayes, he like followed me because he's a Star Wars fan. I'm like, what? Why is this guy following me? I'm like, nobody. Like this is a singer. This is somebody. And and sometimes I get people that like follow me on Twitter, and I'm trying to act cool about it. Like, you work in entertainment too. Be cool, relax. But the reality is, we geek out just as much as anybody else. Like George Lucas walks
Yeah.
into the studio, I'm still gonna crap my pants. Like, holy crap! Like, that's the man himself. Like, he's standing there, or something like that. Or even seeing an actor walk by you on set or something, it's still a shock to me when I'm on set. It's like, this is amazing. I'm on a movie set or a TV set or whatever it is, and the whole time you're just trying to act cool about it, like like you're supposed to be there, when in reality, I'm thinking any moment now they're gonna figure out I don't belong here and kick me out. This guy's a fraud.
Yeah.
That
Now,
what do they call it? Imposter syndrome.
yeah, I definitely have imposter syndrome because it's like, I always feel like no one knows me. Like I was just saying, like that. I was shocked that person recognized me. I always feel like no one knows me, and like, it's also like I also know I'm not this big, huge star. It's just for fun, and it was done to make friends. I can't make a living off of it. It costs me way more to do my YouTube than I could ever probably make off of it, or ever have. I haven't had the most popular video I have is about 5,000 views, where I was making fun of Ben Shapiro because he's an idiot when it comes to Star Wars. And the majority of that is people telling me, like in the video, like I say, better than me, but when it comes to Star Wars, I would destroy him. If you guys got a debate, he would destroy you. It's like, yeah, I just said that in the video. Why are you like posting that? So yeah, I have as many upvotes as I do downvotes, which people that don't realize it's all in the algorithm. It doesn't matter if it's an upvote or a downvote. But yeah, like that's my most popular video, and that's like 5,000 views, 6,000 views, because people either love me for saying he's an idiot, or people hate me for saying he's an idiot. But yeah, like it's basically just friends coming to hang out with me, and
Yeah.
doing this. It's like it's great to talk to other people that are Star Wars fans.
He's got Cara Dune now, right?
Yeah, that's a whole other story in itself.
That's an unenviable position to be in my opinion. Like, either one, either her or Disney. It's a tough spot. You can't win.
It really is, and like this is, I don't sugarcoat shit. So it's like, a lot of the stuff she said, she's not wrong about, but it's just when the way you say it, and people don't look at the context of it. It's just, if you say one thing, it's automatically taken wrong. It's like,
Well, I mean, I don't know if you saw all the stuff she posted, but she posted some like caricatures, like Jewish, anti-Semitic Jewish caricatures, and then immediately deleted it.
Oh no, I didn't see those.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. Like, that's kind of the straw that broke the camel's back. But I don't know if you're aware of it. I mean, you might be. I mean, you're a Star Wars fan, but a lot of people calling her fired. She wasn't actually fired. Her contract was not renewed.
Oh,
That's
okay.
all.
See, I didn't
Yeah,
know that.
but every headline out there is fired, fired, fired. But the reality is, that's why she's like, I didn't know I was fired. It's like, yeah, because you weren't. Because the way industry works is you're hired on a contract basis. Her season was already over. You know what I mean? So it's not like
Okay.
she hadn't. This is from my understanding, so take it with a grain of salt. And I don't work in HR or anything, but from my understanding, it was like, oh, this person's very controversial. They're posting a lot of stuff that we don't agree with. They're repeating, like, stolen election things and all that. I mean, wherever you stand on that, regardless, it's like, doesn't matter who you are. And a lot of people are taking this, I think, out of context, because it's like, you can't work for any company. It doesn't matter if it's Disney or not, that has a very specific image and stance, especially if you're a public face, and then go on social media and say stuff. It doesn't matter who you are.
Oh
You know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah,
completely understand that.
it's
It's
one
like,
of those.
you
Yeah,
know,
and
it's
not just because it's not like other actors and haven't said stuff. I mean, everybody has said something controversial, but it was I noticed with her, it was a lot of stuff that even I was like, whoa, like, and she would post stuff and then delete it, or it would get taken down. I don't really know, but some of the stuff was like, I'm like, wow, that's pretty bad. Like I'm staying away from it. Like I'm that's not my problem, But being Disney, I think the fact that her contract was over from the last season and they're just like, yeah, we're not renewing it. That was as clean a break as you can make it. Like that's. I don't think there was a better way to separate than that. But unfortunately, everybody still ran with the fired tagline. I mean, clickbait. What can I say?
yeah. Well,
People get
that's
outraged.
I don't. I guess I don't know everything that was going on because I don't go on Twitter. I had that little conversation with you. I go on Twitter just to post about what's going on the show, and then every couple of days I just go on. I used to live on Twitter and be on there all
Yeah,
the time, and now it's like I go on there for maybe a minute or two a day and just scroll through really quick. So I must have
yeah.
missed a lot of things. You know, yeah, but
I
I just
mean,
think
I'm with you. Nothing was
yeah,
outright like this malicious, but some of it was pretty. I mean, I guess you could say maybe a little ignorant or insensitive to like, and maybe she's unaware that certain things are like really
yeah.
racist or offensive. And like I said, it wasn't like she was on there shouting out like anti-Semitic names or anything like that. But it was a constant stream of stuff that I feel like they did let her get away with a lot, all things considered. And like she wasn't renewed. It is what it is. It's like, hey, you don't fall in line with our company image, and it is what it is.
Oh yeah, I mean, in a lot of places too, like they have, clauses in your contract that, if you like, there's this image that you have to uphold, and
Yeah,
going on, and that's why a lot of people aren't in charge of their social media accounts. They
yeah,
have PR people that do it. So like anything that they're gonna put up goes through them
yeah.
first.
Like even me being like being a senior artist on episode 9, I can't go on social media, even if it's a true honest opinion. I can't go on social media and be like, I think episode 9 kind of sucks, or oh, I think this actor's ugly, or whatever opinion it may be. Even if it's my personal opinion, I can't expect to go on social media and say that. Which, if you really think about it, is not even that bad. If I say, oh, I didn't like Solo, I thought it was bad, but I'm also not an actor. For sure, if I said Solo sucked on social media, I guarantee you I would have gotten canned. That would have been it. Done. So it's one of those things
Yeah,
where it's hard to look at it from that outside perspective because we as fans we connect with certain characters and actors, and it's like, oh no, this character wouldn't say that. Well, oh, that's the actor, not the character. Things like that. So we get attached, and it's hard to look at it from an outsider perspective. And it seems like you're on the same page. You understand? Like, it doesn't matter what your opinion is. It's you just can't go spouting stuff that's in high contrast to your employer. It just doesn't work that way.
there's a difference between political views or whatever, and you can say things that are factual, but it depends on how you state them, whether or not they're accepted. Or I know there was, I think there was something a couple months ago where you said something sarcastically, but it's on Twitter, so people can't get your tone, and somebody got upset with you, or some people got
Oh
upset with you,
yeah,
and it's just like,
I made a joke about a fictional character, and to be fair, I made the same joke about another character that nobody even batted an eye before on a podcast. I was like, look, if you really think about it, Darth Vader in real life would be irredeemable. Like, he killed
Mhm.
younglings. Like, someone in real life, if they killed kids and then his son comes and save him, he's still going to prison. Like, there's no way out of that. Like you murdered
Yeah,
a lot of people, and I made that as a joke, and it got blown way out of proportion about another character. I'm not going to get too much into it, but
yeah.
long
I
story
think
short, I started getting. Go ahead.
I think everyone that's watching this or whatever can figure out the comparison
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't
there.
matter, and here's the thing: it's not that I'm like, oh, yeah, don't be too sensitive. It's that if it's offensive to someone and I wasn't aware, I'm okay with that. I'm okay accepting that. Oh, I didn't know. Like, for example, if I call someone, hey, Jimmy, oh, I don't like Jimmy, call me Jim. That's offensive to me. All right, no problem. I'll call you Jim. No problem. It doesn't bother me. It was the approach. I thought it was lighthearted, and they go, hey, that's not funny. I'm like, oh, it's a joke. Relax. And then all of a sudden I'm getting DMs like, oh, do you support, sexual assault against your daughter or something? Like, what just happened? Like, what's going on here? You know what I mean? Like, that just went from 0 to 100, like nothing. Like, I don't understand what happened. And next thing you know, like, they're screenshotting me and sending. I'm getting DMs there. I had to turn off DMs. I mean, you probably didn't notice because I already chatted with you before, but I had to close DMs, and I took my banner down that had anything to do with Star Wars. It was crazy. I mean, I was getting all kinds of people like hating on me, just, and I just didn't understand it. I'm like, okay, I get that my joke might have offended you or you didn't like it, but at the end of the day, this is a fictional character played by an actor, and somehow I'm getting threats against me and like my daughter, who's 1, because of a fictional character, and I didn't. It was strange to me.
Yeah, I've had similar things, and I don't have the I guess the responsibility, or like the presence on Twitter. So it's like I'll then argue with the people about it, because it's like, well, oh, it's a fictional character. Why don't you understand that? Like with the whole baby Yoda and the egg thing. That was the whole big thing on Twitter, because, well, what if it happened to people in real life? Would you still think it was? And it's like, but it didn't happen in real life. Like that's like someone saying that they don't like Freddy Krueger because what if a demon really came to life and killed people? Like, it just,
Yeah, I mean,
they're completely different things. But
like, people aren't upset about John Wick killing all these people.
yeah, it's like, but
No,
that's
I
that's
get it.
different.
But the egg thing is, she only needed one. I don't know if you knew that.
Yeah.
Yeah, she only needed one.
So
it's okay. It's okay. It's a fictional.
Yeah, that's and somebody's gonna watch us and be like, now you're making fun of my fertility. Yeah, so it's a no one situation.
No, not
When you
at
talk
all.
to anybody. But well,
I'm making fun of a puppet creature eating prop eggs.
Exactly.
And like I said, I'm not. I don't want to say like I'm insensitive to people's plight, in certain situations, but there is. I feel like there is, a disconnect. There's some people. There is some things there. It is a stretch, you know. Like, I mean, where were people bothered by Jabba, eating live animals, basically. You got Salacious Crumb, hopping around. I mean, it's all good.
Yeah, it's just things have just changed a lot since we were kids.
It's all right.
So what do you have? So you just bought a house, so you're going to be moving soon. Any idea or anything that you probably can't talk about, but anything on the horizon, work wise, that you can talk about, or we're just concentrated on the video game?
I'm filming a movie next month that I'm going to be in, ironically, with a professional fighter named Kung Lee. He's been in a few movies. He's not actually like a huge movie star. He fought in the UFC, but I'm also working on a project with. Are you familiar with Tim Russ? He played Commander Tuvok on Star Trek Voyager.
Yeah. We talked about that at the beginning of the show a little bit.
Yeah. I'm working on a movie with him and a few other individuals. The guy doing the sound for this film is a veteran as well. He's done sound at Skywalker Ranch, so they got a lot of heavy hitters coming in. So it's exciting to be a part of that, and it's one of those other projects where it's that imposter syndrome popping in again, where the guy's like, "Hey, I want to bring you on board because of your your experience and your skill set." I'm like, compared to who? You got the Skywalker sound guy here. You got like heavy hitters, and he's like, "Yeah, weren't you a senior artist on Episode 9?" I'm like, that is true, but that sounds way more important than it actually is. It's just a title. I just made stuff. And he's like, no, you know what you're doing though, so we'll bring you on board. And it's still every day. I'm like, oh yeah, you should probably find someone better because I'm kind of faking it till I make it here.
Yeah, that's kind of how we all feel. Well, I shouldn't say we all feel. That's how I feel too. It's like I'm just happy and grateful for all the friends I've made, and I wish I had 1 million people watching my show, but that's how the other 1 million YouTube Star Wars channels kind of feel. There's 10 of them that can make a living off of it, and the other 1 million are just kind of like, hey, well, this is fun for us. But yeah. So all right, I know you said you had about an hour.
Yeah.
Before you go, is this something that's okay for me to do on screen?
Yeah, you can open that up.
All right.
Yeah.
So we usually have a segment on the show. It's called "What's in the Box," and I save whatever toys, yeah, what's in the box. So I save whatever toys I get or pick up from the week, and I open them up on Mondays. Or if it's a really good week, I do it on my Sunday show too. But I got this guy. Yoshi sent me this little envelope here, so we're gonna see what we got in there today.
Promise it's not new.
I mean, those could be worth money. You never know. Oh, sweet! All right, here we go.
Couple of my shots.
That is awesome, man. Yeah, I have a couple other things. It's not showing up too good on the camera, so I'll have to take a picture out there. But I have a couple other pictures and things that I've been sent from other people too that have been on here. So someday I'll get everything all framed and put up nice. I'm in the process of it's a long story, but I'm in an event where if I win, I win I'm in second place right now. I win a 65-inch Ultra HD, like 8K TV. And I'm like, man, that would go perfect right here. So I can sit right there. And if I don't win that, maybe then they'll be like the Funko shelf, a bunch of Funko shelves going up there.
I don't know if you've been to, before I leave off, I was going to say, I don't know if you've been to like some of the stores lately. I went to Target the other day. I'm like, wow, some of the TVs are so cheap now. Like I couldn't imagine these prices like a couple of years ago, I was like, are you seriously selling a 70-inch TV for like $500? That's ridiculous.
Well, because it's only 2K. We got to make remember it's only 4K because now we have the 8K coming out, and it's just like
I'm okay with 4. I don't need 8. I can barely see 4 as it is unless I have my glasses on, and I'm sitting at a proper distance. So I'm like, I thought about it, like, I don't need 8 unless I have like a 120-inch screen. I don't see a point for 8 personally.
Yeah. Well, hey, if I can win a free 8K, I'm going to take it. But that's I don't know if I would ever really go out and buy one. I mean, like my TV that I have is a 10. My TV that I have is a 1080. All of my TVs are 1080. But the only difference is if you watch a 4K movie, it looks better on 1080 than a 1080 does, just because even though your TV is still 1080 and going out 1080, it's they're
2%.
Yeah. So, like anytime I'm watching any of the stuff on Disney Plus, they're not my sponsor, but if they want to be, they can be. I always try and get the 4K version off of Disney. The regular.
I'm probably using the wrong phrase. It's probably not called Super Saiyan. I'm probably confusing something, but I think you know what I mean.
Yeah. You can see the fingerprints on Darth Vader's helmet with the 4K. With just the regular one, you can't really see anything.
Yeah. Anyways, I got to get going, but I want to thank you for having me on here. It's been great. Like nice, relaxing, just no script.
That's talk. I mean, that's what it's all about. And yeah, let me if you ever want to pop back in, or it's every Monday at your time.
Maybe we could stream a game sometime, some fishing or something. I don't know.
Definitely. And I know my buddy, he asked me a couple questions about you with your game coming out. He's a big gamer, and he's got a show that he does on Thursday nights, all about gaming.
I gotta get going now, but if he wants to hit me up on Twitter or something, feel free.
Yep. All right.
Or you can pass him my email if he has questions or something.
Okay. Yeah, I'll definitely do that.
All right.
All
You
right.
have a good
Well,
one,
thank
man.
you. Thank you for your time. It was great talking to you again.
All right. Have a good
All
one.
right. Thank you. All right, guys. Once again, that is that was Yoshivu. He is a 3D artist, graphic artist, VX artist. He's got a lot of titles. And his name, and he's but also we didn't touch on a lot of the things that we talked about last time when he was on, or other things that have known him through conversations we've had on social media. I do have a few things. So we had that. We have, this package right here that I got. So that's pretty cool. We got a couple of things. I really have no idea what these are. No clue at all. So we just need someone to ask. We need someone to ask on here right now. We got a couple of here. Somebody ask. Somebody ask. Oh, okay. I'm going to go store. I know what it is. It's been sitting here for a little while. I went to go open up some stuff on my birthday that I got from Livet. And hey, this coworker coming in to say, what's in the box? Oh, okay. Mandalorian. We got the green screen up. So, Mandalorian, art imagery, collector's edition, volume 2. So, I'm going to guess this is the one that deals with all of. Here we go. I was going to say deals with all of the. Second season, but I would be wrong because you got pictures of armor in there. So I'm gonna have to take a look a little bit more at these and see what we got. But we got a couple of really cool things just to show you quickly. Just grab back. Let's kill the screen like to show you. Oh, there we go. If I no, I gotta get all right. Well, what we got going on? Just a bunch of cool stuff. Yeah, there was some issues with Livet with Disney and streaming some things because of copyright, and that's all been cleared up. So, Chris, have a good night, man. Thanks for stopping by. We got one. So I wasn't able to do my. They brought me on to do my Star Wars, kind of like Star Wars anymore. Now it's back on. My talent manager, that workshop has been really hard to get me to be able to do, and the letter and all the stuff I get from the books, whatever that's it, film or film publishers. It's like, guys, they need to just review social media people out, and skip things. Here's here's your talking points. They finally gave me okay. That kind of snowballed the next few days of everybody got the okay. So, all right, what do we have here? What do we have? Oh, smack! Jar Jar Binks. Jar Jar Binks, everybody. Although he's a little bit beat up, so we're gonna have to the whole do this company Hasbro Pulse. Yeah, the box is all torn and destroyed, so we're gonna have to send Mr. Hasbro Pulse an email. But yeah, that's pretty cool, man. Jar Jar Binks. And I've fallen really far behind on a lot of my Black Series collecting and my collecting. So we're gonna have to pull it together and try and get some of that stuff done. If anybody wants to hop on here, just let me know. Anything they want to talk about. I'm not working this Sunday, so the septic tank's back on. I've been talking to Kylo and the crew to find out what they're doing. Kylo and Christina are streaming out with me. So it's a good thing to maybe download the Live It app. And now there's a couple more of us on there talking and our stars. So that should be, maybe a little bit more of an incentive to download the app. And I know a couple of our friends have downloaded it too. And before it would automatically sign you up to the hot people on there. And it was literally when I say the hot people, like hot people. Whatever you want to follow, like what kind of genre you want to follow on there. So that's changed a little bit also. Yeah, that's for today. But this tank's back on. And we'll have to see what with my permission at work. I will hopefully be able to get the septic tank going back on, or maybe trying to. All right, it says we're losing the stream. So I'm sure. Let's go ahead and restart that. We're breaking up. So we're just going to end it there. That's pretty much it. Let's see. Check this out really quick. And see. Oh, yeah. I'm pinging a little bit high. Here's what my download speed's about half of what it should be. I'm having an issue with my upload. It's my internet's acting up right now. I should be at about 11 or 12 for uploaded. I'm at 3.5, so that's the issue right now. I'm having some internet issues, so hopefully we can get that resolved. But guys, everybody, thanks for coming by. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for coming and hanging out with me. We had a great talk once again with Yoshi Vu. And with that, I say good day. May the force be with you always.